So they'll be calling you a radical. Very exciting time around here. So Joe Bolomboy playing in the EU Championship game tomorrow. So, of course, Jarek's the man. But anyway, number 1, Jarek Harding. Number 2, Dillon Jones. Number 3, Harding wears number 3 in the Spain League. He's the best player that ever played here. Damien will be here with his crew the 17th. So this is important because Dillon Jones, I think, is going to go. You know, for our crowd. Everybody here hates to see him go, but I want to really talk about Joel Bolomboy. How important, what a cultural figure he is. I helped recruit Joel. I mean, the very first, when his mom and dad, right at the Union, Randy introduced, first person was, I was sucked up full of cancer then, really sucked up. First person he met was me. And he's such a cultural figure because this is important. He was born in Ukraine. That's right. So, a couple weeks before Brittany entered Russia, he's playing for Moscow. He got out. You know, the State Department had issued all kinds of stuff. Don't go in, don't go in. I got stuff. You know, I've been in Russia lots of times. Whoa. Don't go in, don't go in. Why did she enter after the State Department told her agent? She obviously didn't know. She got hacked. So, but what about Mark Fogel? What about Mark Fogel? You know, he's still in for the exact same charge. Oh, he's just a teacher. So, Joel, I'm so proud of that dude. What a great player. What a great person. He stands up to him. So, BAT is the association he played for in Russia, in Moscow. You know, they seized all his stuff, took his money, broke his contract. He sued him. He threw down. Read what his Twitter feed said. He went after him. I was so proud of him. He's like, you want to bully people? No. So, he's in Greece. He's going to, he's going to get a chance at a ring. You know, it's very exciting. So, Dillon, everybody argued with me, and I'm like, I think this will be his last game here. And I've talked to Dillon about this. I talked to Jarek. I know all these guys personally. I remember talking to Jarek, and I says, if they offer you the supplemental draft thing, like they did Bolomboy, like they did Sieglin, don't take it. Don't even mess around and waste a couple years of your life. It's not worth it. Europe's going to offer you the big contract. Do your thing over there. You know, and you'll make plenty of money, and you'll be happy, whatever. Jarek Harding, how he's not in the NBA absolutely blows my mind. So, Dillon, this is very similar to when Lillard. You know, I remember, I did the play-by-play here for the radio station the whole time Lillard here, and, you know, Dillon's not going to be able to meet his goals, right off the get. He didn't know. I told Dillon, you do know Damian Lillard never played in an NCAA tournament. What? Yeah, you do know that. This is after his freshman year. You know, his junior, he didn't know that. No, he never played. You know, looks like Dillon's never going to play in an NCAA tournament, which is sad to me. Well, us as the fans. And we got to go back to number 4. We talk 1, the great Lillard. 2, Dillon Jones. 3, you know, that's what Jarek Harding's wearing in Europe. I think Scotty Bamforth wears 3 in Europe now too, but 4, that's Eddie Gill. Oh, he won. Now, to me, it blows my mind that this kind of talent has been here. It's been unbelievable, and they don't win. Me and Randy Ray got in a huge fight over there. I was close with Randy until then. You know, that was the same time that, you know, I was sick, really sick. You know, they all knew. I was close with Randy, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, Randy, what the hell when they lost to Xavier? I was so pissed. I knew what they had with Bolomboy. I knew what they had with Sieglin. I knew what they had. And he's like, I don't think he ever wanted to win late. He just wanted to go on. I mean, it was disgusting. And he's like, well, Kevin, they don't get the players like when you used to work for Baglin, blah, 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 blah. I said, are you kidding me? You've had more talent than freaking any coach in the history of this school. Oh, you mean we don't get talent? You mean like Damian Lillard? You had? You know, they were ahead by 23 points in the second half right there in the loss. So Dillon says, "Oh, well, we're gonna." I said, "They haven't won a tournament game. You do. They haven't won a tournament game since '99. The Big Sky's won one since '99. It's we're getting a tournament win." He told me, "We're getting them a win." But his stock is moving up like Lillard did. I remember Lillard got no love when he was here. The local media didn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. After he got drafted, became the Rookie of the Year, went up. They had billboards, buses selling his jerseys left. I have the last Damian Lillard jersey from the books. They gave it to me to do the play-by-play. It's autographed by everybody but Lillard. So I have the ticket stuff from Lillard's first game here. I did every one of his games. But the thing with Dillon, it's like Lillard. I was in Wendover with some guys clear back then, and I'm like, "Oh, we're betting the Jazz, Jim." I said, "What are you messing around with that shit for? It's like free money. We have a player." This is when he was a freshman, or excuse me, sophomore. I'm like, "We got a player here that's going to be starting the NBA." What are you talking about? I knew right off the get. His name's Damian Lillard. What? And of course he broke his foot, but he got no love. Same with Dillon here. I knew what Dillon was. I've always known what Dillon is. I mean, I've watched him. He's got these moves like at the rim. He's an Adrian Dantley mixed in with, I call him Dillon Magic Jones. He's got that high dribble. He'll catch the rebound, go coast to coast. He'll be a point guard in the NBA. He's Magic Johnson. I call him Magic Dillon Jones. So I've watched him progress, and Lillard's stock went up really, really late, out of nowhere. I was full of cancer then. I was really sucked up. Had a central line in those days, and hanging out of my jugular vein. But I watched him. His stock went, whoa. That's what's happening to Dillon right now. They're not going to pass on it. And I talked to Dillon about this multiple times. I've had lots of conversations with him. Me and him are pretty close. I saw him just at the spring football game. He's like, "God, I can't find a two. I got one. Of course, I don't think of it. He's, "I'll give it to you." No, you keep it, kid. So, is that funny? What they do? Drive up the bus road again? Happens every day. That's funny. The greenwashing bus. So, Joe Bolomboy was always one of my favorite people ever. He's in a whole other stratosphere in my mind now. He stood up to him. I mean, he's going to get a play in the EU Championship. I mean, it's very exciting. All these players, they'll be here, a bunch of them the 17th with Mr. Lillard. And I'm not a fan of what Lillard's done with his money. His talent, his talent speaks for itself. It's incredible. But we know that. But I'm talking about the person, what he does with his wealth, his money. I'm not a big fan of sports merchandising. Actually, I buy everything retro. I'm the guy that got retro night going here. These people just drive. It's the bus lane, the greenwashing bus lane. So I talked to Dillon, and I'm like, "Dillon, if you get," and he scratched into the combine. He knows what I mean. They're going to offer you the big deal in the NBA. We want him to come back, and he'll come back, and he'll play here. He won't go no transfer portal. That's why I love Jay Hill. Jay Hill was the man, wasn't he? The greatest football coach in the history of this school. Maybe the greatest coach in the history. You got to compare yourself to the likes of Dick Motta and Phil Johnson and Ronna Baglin, the greatest coaches here. But Motta, I know him personally. I love Phil Johnson. Could be the greatest coach. Randy Ray could not win. Me and Randy got in a big old fucking fight. He couldn't win. And so we had a vote here. I have a lot of say around here. The people that, there's people behind the scenes, including myself, that do all our passion and our love for the student athlete for free. I don't get any money. I just do the dirty work. We had a vote. We voted for Jimmy DeGraffeney. Jimmy DeGraffeney won. We wanted a Weber State guy to coach Weber State. Jimmy DeGraffeney won. He's a lot of people's favorite player who ever played here. I love that guy. I was a student professor at Weber State when those days. I remember when they won. They beat Michigan State and sent Jeff Heathcote packing. And they had Allen Iverson as a freshman and Georgetown beaten. I'm at that game. And the great Ruben Nemhart, 25. He missed the front end of that 1-1, and then they threw the Hail Mary. Broke their hearts. That was a Friday, Sunday. When he came home, I was a student professor there. We're talking the 440 class. I'm like, hardest class on this campus. We're in the #1 school business in the United States. Now we have the FBI in there. We go to last, what they did to me. I'm like, you don't need to take the test out. We can figure something out, the game. He said, no, I studied, I'm ready. I'm like, what? When did you study? He says, on Saturday, between games. He just got the class high. That's all, on the hardest test on the campus. The legendary finance professor, Dr. Cooley, loved him. And so we voted for him, and then came in second was Eddie Gill. I love Eddie Gill. I mean, he could be the greatest player that ever played here. Look at that NBA career, one of them. So I talked to him a lot. I says, if you're going to go and they're going to give you a good deal in the draft, you're a first or second round draft pick, go. I mean, we hate to see losing and see him go because, but just remember, Eric is an extension of Randy Ray, no doubt. Okay? And we saw how it played out. It played out in the tournament. The dynamics of coaching during a game, and it was Eric's first year. We'll give him a chance, but he was an assistant here for same old. Be honest with you, it actually blows my mind. I've been involved with this program since the 60s. I knew Mata personally. I knew Soldier, Big Pen, all these players. It blows my mind the talent that's been on this floor, and they cannot win with it. I mean, it really blows my mind. There's been more talent in the last 12, 13 years in the history of this school, and they don't win. But he's all that, Dillon. So I think we're going to lose him, and more power to him. I think with they offer him the deal, and he already knows what I think, because we've talked about it a lot. Just like I talked a lot to Jerry Carter. By the way, and I know, in my opinion, it's not opinion. I've been here the whole time. No fan knows more about this program than me. Nobody. Try me. The greatest player who ever played in this building, the Wattis Curse House, that's Jerry Carter. He blows my mind to this day. The shots, how's he not in the NBA? Really? Well, here's Jerry Carter and Rashid Shaheed on campus, and I know them both very personally. Neither one drafted? But I don't think they're going to miss on Dillon. I don't think they're going to miss, I think he's going to go, his stock's moving up, and we're going to lose him, but Weber will be fine. I mean, we don't worry about recruiting here. I'll quote Jerry Carter to me. Well, what made you decide on Weber? He was pretty heavily recruited. Like, Tiny Nate Archibald 10. Damian Lillard was my favorite player. We don't worry about recruits here. Do you know that this is a true story. I pushed for Jeremy Lin here. He won the California State Championship from the same area. Do you know Weber passed on? And remember, we were an academic powerhouse school then. Because he ended up at, Harvard, Princeton, started recruiting. Just remember, Weber State was the #1 school of business in the country all through the 90s. I was the guy there, student professor there. What happened to that? Well, look it up. The FBI's in there. Glass. So, anyway, I wanted to get it up for Joel Bolomboy. He's more than a basketball player. It's so culturally significant because of the Britney thing. He was born in Ukraine. And how he stood up to them. He sued them and won. He sued that one. And it's so exciting. Tomorrow he's going to play in the Euro Championship game. And by the way, the Jazz going to take him? No, the Jazz are too stupid. The Jazz don't know how to draft. Not since Stockton and Malone. I watched Stockton play him. We were drilled him, but I know Frank Landon personally. He used to sit here with me. I used to get him to do the color on the game sometimes when Willard played here. And they suck. They don't know how to draft. It's like the NFL. How do you miss on Rashid Shaheed? So, anyway, I think we're going to lose Mr. Lillard. Or, excuse me. One Lillard was here. He never got to play in the NCAA tournament. Dillon, one of his goals, he says, I'm going to get an NCAA tournament. he's not going to get it, I think. 2. Number 3, well, KJ plays at Cunningham now, but number 3, that's Jerry Carding wears number 3 in here. I think Scotty Bamforth does too now. You know, Siegelin's 30. And anyway, 4, that's the incredible Eddie Gill. So that was Bamforth here with 4 also. So anyway, 21, Harold Arsenault of the show. And the incredible Joe Bolomboy is much more. He was born in Ukraine. You know, think about that whole dynamic. And, you know, he forfeited a lot of money, took a lot of guts. He got out of there. He knew the danger. He stood up to him, he fought back, and the money that he forfeited, but look where he is now. Look where he is now. Going to get a chance to get a ring. So we're going to lose him, I think. I think he's going to go in the draft. You know, I hope that, well, I don't think they're going to miss on him. He's too good. So, but why can they not win with these superstar players? I just told you why. Stay tuned.